welcome to PM Anonymous, where we answer questions that people chat in. So here's one for you, Phil. What are the eligibility requirements to apply for the PMP exam?
So to apply for the PMP exam, there are two possibilities. It's either you are a holder of a bachelor's degree or you are a holder of a high school certificate. If you're a bachelor's degree holder, then you need 3 years at least and 4,500 hours of professional project management experience. In other words, you spent 3 years, and then on top of that 3 years, if you really break it down, you should come up with 4,500 hours. So it's not enough to say, Phil, I've got 3 years, but I've only got 3,000 hours. No, it has to be 3 years, and when you add up those 3 years, it should add up to 4,500 hours. And a lot of people don't have that, but you should be in the safe zone because each year you put in an average of 40 hours times 52 weeks, which gives about 2,000 hours. And if you give or take the vacation, you end up with about 1,500 hours anyway of doing whatever you do. Some people have more, some people have right on 3. I wouldn't advise you to go to town putting in all the 20 or 30 projects you did in the past 8 years or 7 years, or they said you can't go back more than 8 years when you are filling in all that information. So even if you've got hours and hours and hours, why not put in what is required instead of putting in the whole laundry list of projects you've done? And then the other category is people that don't have a bachelor's degree. They've got a high school diploma or the equivalent. And for those people, they only need 5 years and 7,500 hours. So again, it goes by the 1,500 hour a year rule. If you multiply 1,500 by 5, you get 7,500. And on top of both of those categories, how could I forget that, Emily?
I know.
You also need the 35 hours of professional, project management training, and it could be project management training in MS Project, in Plan View, Clear View, whatever the training is, as long as it relates to project management. It doesn't have to be a PMP or CAPM boot camp or project management fundamentals. It could be any project management training. And that is good for the life of the person.
Yeah.
At least the PMI hasn't come out and said, well, if the training was 20 years ago, it doesn't count. It does. If it, the training is different from the professional experience. Professional experience, leading and managing projects, it is a must that it was within the past 8 years. It is a must that it be either in the 4,500 hour category or the 7,500 hour category. But the actual training hours, it's not really a big deal. It could be eons ago. It still counts.
And you fill this out on the application, right? So people say it's taken them 8 hours to fill out the application. It's online, give or take. I mean, you have to document all of these hours of experience, and also a supervisor is the term. It's someone who can validate that you did work on that project in that capacity. So the great news about applying for the PMP exam is the eligibility requirements are obvious. There's a PMP handbook that you can get from PMI.org. I found that their customer support is very nice. I've had phone calls and I've received emails also whenever I've had a question. So if anybody out there is wondering, does this count as experience? You can ask them.
That's a very good point. And if you've got questions that we can answer, well, you wouldn't know if we can or not, but send them in anyway. And go to Praizion.com and send them into info@Praizion.com.